Mitsubishi's tie-up with Nissan is really starting to pay dividends, and it all began with the introduction of this all-new Outlander last year. I even like it better than the Rogue from which it is based. And now, with the return of the plug-in hybrid, the Outlander is shining even brighter.
Though hampered by regulatory issues and battery constraints, Mitsu finally delivered an Outlander plug-in hybrid to the United States for the 2018 model year, and it has sold relatively well. It had just a modest 22 miles of all-electric range, and also a drive that soured after the juice was gone. Now flash ahead to 2023, and Mitsubishi is benefiting from being part of the Nissan-Renault alliance. The all-new second-generation Outlander PHEV is here, and now everything just clicks. The design aesthetic, the quality, the EV range, the drivability, everything is better. The result? An outstanding effort from Mitsubishi in what should be a huge success for the persevering Japanese brand. How about 38 miles of all-electric range? 420 miles of driving range in total? A trio of off-road drive modes to leverage this next-generation torque vectoring all-wheel drive system, and a cabin that is immeasurably more pleasing than what was. The Outlander looks outstanding, and this PHEV treatment makes it the one to get. There are 5 trim levels, each with standard all-wheel drive, priced from $41,290, about $10,000 more than the least expensive Outlander with all-wheel control. Now keep in mind that if it is leased, the PHEV qualifies for an over $6,300 federal incentive. Not if purchased, however, because this one is assembled in Japan. This is a nearly top-of-the-line SEL Premium in the exceptional white diamond paint with a handful of options, listing for $50,980, a price point not often seen at a Mitsubishi dealer. But it is worthy of its price and a huge step forward.
This is undoubtedly the best vehicle that has ever worn a Mitsubishi badge. And I mean that both in terms of driving refinement and quality. I mean, Nissan's influence here makes a world of difference. The Outlander is phenomenally good, and the hybrid system is so smooth that I can't even tell, without peeking, when the engine is joining in. Now, these motors do make some interesting sounds, but otherwise, this is a very quiet cabin, super comfortable and ergonomically excellent. But as for this being a 7-seater, I can't even imagine trying to use that third row.
Mitsu's bizarre hallmark paddle headrests live on, but at least they don't have to be removed anymore before stowing the seat. But this is an emergency use only third row, and digging around back here exposes some old Mitsubishi ways. Nevertheless, this cabin is fantastic. Clean, high-end, techy, as experienced in my previous Outlander test. This is new ground for Mitsu. The electronics are particularly excellent, and with the premium package, this is loaded. It includes a 9-speaker Bose sound system that you'd think was one of those super high-end setups, a panoramic roof, a heated steering wheel, the soft leather, a large head-up display, and a power lumbar function that mimics a poor man's massaging seats.
I've been getting about 42 miles of EV range here on a full charge, which is really good for a plug-in hybrid crossover with all-wheel drive. So I've actually been using very little gas, with the exception of the times when I've been forcing the engine to join in just so that I could test it out. Now, there are all sorts of drive modes here too, including several dedicated for off-road use, taking full advantage of this advanced all-wheel drive system, and that's something you rarely see in this category. The ride quality is very forgiving, and there's lots of oomph here when both the engine and the motors join together. And then with this excellent head-up display and these faux massaging seats, it just feels like the kind of vehicle I could drive forever without feeling taxed.
Twin electric motors, a 20 kilowatt-hour lithium-ion battery, and a 2.4-liter gas engine/generator combined to produce 248 horsepower and 332 pound-feet of torque through a direct drive transmission. It uses regular unleaded. Once the battery is depleted and the Outlander goes about as a traditional gas-electric hybrid, gas mileage is rated at 26 mpg. But quoting numbers for a plug-in hybrid is almost worthless because it comes down to how it'll be driven. If kept charged and the drive is less than 40 miles, there can be almost no usage of gasoline, so it's truly an individualized stat. Plug-in hybrids generally can't be fast-charged, but the Outlander continues to be the outlier. It requires the seldom-used Nissan Leaf-type plug, takes about 40 minutes to bring it up to an 80% charge, and frankly, I can't imagine why you would need it. It's not like the engine isn't still there. So, plugging into my level 2 home charger makes the most sense and only takes about 6.5 hours if empty, so in other words, an overnight job. Don't want to invest in a home charger? A 120-volt outlet can get the job done in about 16 hours. Other than price, what trade-offs are made in the name of electricity? At 7.8 inches, there is less ground clearance here. There's considerably less max cargo volume, and it gains about 850 pounds. But hands down, this is as good as it gets in the plug-in hybrid SUV arena. I like its size, high level of features, and comfort level. All hail a new day for Mitsubishi's USA interests. For TestDriveNow.com, I'm Steve Hammis.